Welcome back to Whitt Acres. Today we're going to take a walk through the gardens. We actually have a humid rain day today, and they're calling for some more thunderstorms a little bit later. Huh, pup? These poppies were looking a lot more fresh the past couple days. We were getting a lot of hot sun, but we still have some more to open up here. Oh, look at that one unfurling. It's about to pop its cap. Gorgeous. These actually open up during the day as the sun comes out, and then they close up at night. I really like having the California poppies, and I'm trying to get these to actually spread some more seeds. Like I said in the last video, I tried to make this bed down here below the 9-bark a poppy bed, but I don't have enough sun in this bed anymore since we built this new patio roof. The 9-bark has been looking good though. The reds are really coming in as the flowers are finishing up their bloom cycle. A couple of white pom-poms in here just to give you some contrast. Gorgeous. So many flowers on a little stem. But there is actually a little bit of cleanup to do in here. We're getting a lot of weeds to start going to seed. I'm gonna have to get in there and pull a lot of these out and try and clean it up before the daylilies come in, because they're getting ready to bloom. We have buds all around the property about to pop open with bright orange color. I have more of the daylilies alternating with hostas going down the driveway line. They're on the back of the island there. I have a group down past the vegetable garden, and then we have a bunch going down the fence line on the side garden going out front. But here at the pond bank, the lupin are finishing up. We have some of the last blooms actually opening up right now. And we do have a lot going to seed, and I will have to cut some of these down because I don't want them volunteering that many. Ooh. Thunder's rolling. We might get a storm here in a little bit. We'll try and get this tour done before that happens. But as you can see, we already have some lupin established in the pond bank here, and these are actually a short-lived perennial. They'll live for about 3 to 4 years, and then the whole plant will die. So it's nice to get them to reseed here, but I don't need it every year. What you doing, pup? Don't hurt yourself. He already scratched his face hunting in the rocks yesterday. He was over on the driveway line pushing his face into the rocks trying to get a chipmunk. You gotta be careful with that pretty face. But unlike the perennial lupin, we have the bachelor button here, which is only an annual. It does reseed really well though, so we have a big grouping here this year. And it's one of the best blue flowers. Gorgeous. So we have these coming in with a beautiful splash of blue, but beside it we also have some more purple coming in. This is a light purple. It does have some really nice dark foliage. This is actually the penstemon. And the way I got these penstemon, I actually bought one and I put it in the corner of the ramp bed. You can see it blooming over there beside the spiderwort. And that one actually reseeded and gave me a few volunteers, and I decided to pick those volunteers up the following year and bring them over here to the pond bank. I think I plugged in 4 of them, and it looks like 2 of them made it through the winter, and these ones are actually coming in nice and strong this year. Well, one a little bit more than the other. What was that splash? Puppy, you getting a drink, bud? Good boy. That was made for you to cool down. Don't walk too far, it gets deeper. Good. We have the fishies playing over there by the volunteer trees I dug out yesterday off the homestead. We have a walnut, an oak, and a maple. I don't know exactly what I'm doing with them yet, but I didn't want to just kill them right off the bat. So whenever I dug them up, I put them in the pond here so they could soak up some water, and then I'll figure out if I can find a place for them on the landscape. Huh, bud? Let's go see the roses blooming in the rose bed. Now the rose bed is a complete mess right now, and I haven't done anything with it because I actually want to dig out the entire thing, replace it with some good soil, and get the roses replanted. I could have kept up with the weeding though, that would have made it look a lot better. But we're still getting some blooms off the roses. This is the Oh So Easy Red. And this one actually has some small heads poking through all the weeds. But over here on the corner we have the Oh So Easy Peach, and this one actually is fragrant. Gotta stop and smell the roses. It's a little bit muted after the rain, but it's good to see these still alive, so I will be able to transplant these whenever we get the bed redone. But on the corner here, oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. So happy to have that back up and running. But over here we have the multi-headed yellow one. It just has some gorgeous blooms on it. Just a perfectly formed rose. So definitely want to keep these roses in the rose bed whenever we redo it. And I think there is a live rose over here in the middle. It might have got swallowed up. There was an orange one in there, but this is on the list. We're going to be digging out the entire rose bed, pulling out the roses that are in there, and then retransplanting them after we fill this up with some better soil and compost. But over here in the bench bed, the gladiolas are coming up, and it looks like some grass has grown to seed over here too. This is actually a really soft grass. Oh, the cows would love this stuff. Let me pull that out so it doesn't go to seed. But now that the nights are warming up, I'm gonna have to get my brother over here so we can get some extra hands and actually get all the tarps rolled up on the patio. And once we get the patio opened up, I can get some vining plants up on a trellis here again. Huh, Pop, look out for those birds. You hear that plane going by, but you can't see it. Too cloudy. He knows it's there. Good boy. The birds aren't out right now because we're trying to get some grass to grow on the island. Hopefully that comes in quick. We have the spiderwort infused with a hosta blooming over here. The spiderwort comes into bloom first. More purple. Always take some more purple, and actually right beside it we have the lily going into bloom. This is going to be some more bright orange. Looks like we're getting the last bloom of the iris over here at the ramp bed. Probably the last one to open up. But as you can see right behind it, we're getting a bunch of blooms off my backup pumpkins. All those boys calling in the bees. Huh, Pop? I see you, fishies. I'll get you some feed later. I've been trying to feed the fish a little bit more now that the weather's warmed up, try and get some size on the koi. Huh, Pop, we'll pop over to the side garden and check out the peonies before they finish up. I will be finding a place for these backups. I wanted to make sure that my friends got their pumpkins going in their patches before I planted all these in the landscape, just in case they needed one. We also have some flowers over here. The calendula is actually starting to bloom right there in the pot. We also have some marigolds we need to get planted, and some nasturtium and 4 o'clocks I have here. I gotta weed the pond bank and then I can get some of those in. And then over here I'm protecting a little bit more from the sun since they're tiny little leaves just starting out of the greenhouse. We have some coleus in here, and I'm hoping to get these a little bit bigger and then we can get them planted in the landscape too. Oh, it looks like something came and dug this one out. That's not good. Let me get these up off the ground. Oh, careful, careful. Doing things one-handed here. Don't fall now, you hear? A little bit up, a little bit. We're there. We're there, nice and safe. Huh, Pup, you see those peonies? Gorgeous. We're starting to lose some blooms on them. Look at them just falling apart after the rain. The chrysanthemums over here are starting to bloom. Those are the only chrysanthemums I was able to start from seed, and they keep coming back each year, so I'm happy to see. But as the peonies finish up blooming, we have the golden spirea coming into bloom, and the bumblers do love this one. It's usually covered in bees on a sunnier day. But over here next to the platform bird feeder, we have the peonies blooming, and these are the nice bright white ones. They're looking pretty heavy though, collecting up all that rain. Just been gorgeous this year. I wasn't able to time out the garden tours last year to see the peonies, and I didn't quite get them in full bloom this year. You gotta kind of watch all the videos to see them. Not everything can be in full bloom during the garden tours. But we still have a couple of them opening up here. Beautiful blush of pink. Good time to cut some of these and get them in the house for fragrance. Huh, Pup, they're looking good in here though. We have a lot of different stuff in the perennial garden or the side garden over here. I'd like to get the fence on the back though. That would really tie it together. And we do have some more spiderwort over here blooming. These ones actually have some bigger flowers. The roots aren't all tied up in a hosta ball. They can actually expand out. Gorgeous. Don't mind me some purple and white. And it's good to see the large hibiscus coming back. These actually sprout a little bit later in the season because they like the warmer weather, and it's been pretty cool this spring. So it's a little bit scary whenever you see everything else sprouting up and this is still dormant. But whenever the weather warms up, this actually starts sprouting up too. We have a lily back here looking nice and full. Get some of these weeds out of the way. This lily actually has a sedum sprouting out of the side of it. I actually have a few volunteer sedums around here I'd be able to move. Can start spreading them out. I gotta get in here with the weed whacker though, clean some of this up. Hump up. Oh, you wiggling around. But check that out, the yuccas are putting on their bloom stalks. We have a bunch of these around. But the yucca is actually a biannual bloomer, so if you only have one, it's only gonna bloom once every other year. So you gotta have multiple of these yuccas so you get blooms every year. Now, unfortunately, my blue atlas cedar did not survive the buck rub it got, and I'm really not sure what happened to my corkscrew willow. It just didn't come back this year. Huh, Pop. So I'm actually thinking about switching this out for the Braxton's Brown Beauty Magnolia I have in the nursery. Well, my Cleveland pear is doing amazing right now. It's over 12 feet tall and just a perfect shape for its spot. And my oak is filling out nicely too. I really want this to be a wide oak, so I'm actually going to be moving these hydrangeas up into the yard, and I'm thinking about planting some Norway spruce behind them, getting an evergreen hedge. But the limelight hydrangeas are looking pretty full this year. I never even got in here and pruned the old buds off, but they're just pushing right past them. The eastern redbud is all but finished up, just pushing on a bunch of bean seeds. Native plant seed in the landscape. And the blueberry muffin viburnum actually finished up its bloom cycle. I didn't actually get over here and get a good photo, but I believe I have the female and I need the male, so I don't actually get any of the blueberries. Not all plants, but some do need a separate plant, male and female, to be the pollinators. And again, down here, I never got all the old stuff pruned back, but the new stuff is just coming right up through. This is the Blue Jean Baby Russian Sage. And it's sage, so it smells delicious whenever you start rubbing up against it. I had 3 in here. Oh, here it is. The third one's on the other side of the path. Good, I thought I hit that with the weed whacker. They're coming up. I could use some fresh mulch out here, but I don't do much with the front garden. We got the oak leaf hydrangea over here looking good. I got a little sprout off a friend that had one coming off his larger one. And the deer ate this down pretty much the first year, so I have it protected this year, and it's coming in nice. We have a group of volunteer berries over here I weed whacked around just to see what we get. I think we're gonna get blackberries by the looks of it. Any berries will be good, if the birds let me get any. But I did want to show off my Royal Empress out front here. I grew this thing from seed, I think 5 years ago now, and it is just looking gorgeous. It's all filled out. I never got a bloom off of this yet, but I don't think our winters let it. Hump up. I have it circled with hostas here and these volunteer Rosa Sharons. I would need to actually pull these out. The Rosa Sharon hedge behind it just keeps offering up more. But I did get a buck rub one of the first years it was planted, and look how it is forming. That is gorgeous. It just healed right over and kept growing. Oh, it has a baby. Gotta get rid of that. I don't need any suckers. Ugh. Don't need you, guy. Anybody else? No? These can actually produce a lot of suckers, but whenever it has a strong growing tree, it tends to produce less. And this tree is growing strong. And it can actually produce leaves upwards of over 2 feet wide, but whenever the tree is bigger, the leaves are smaller. Now this one I'm leaving grow, but some of the other ones I can cut shorter and they'll actually produce giant leaves. But I'm just happy to watch this one grow. I grew it from seed, which was the size of a flake of pepper, and now it's big. And the Royal Empress, or the Palawonian tomatosa, is actually the world's fastest growing tree, so we get to watch it grow quick. Hump up. Gorgeous. And me and my dad actually dug up the eastern redbud right there from my grandma's house where my brother lives right now with the cows. He ran it over with a skid loader trying to clear some trees out, and then I saw it blooming one spring knocked over, so we dug it up and brought it home and planted it, and it's been surviving, doing great ever since. There was still a lot of good tree left in that. Now I did do some weed whacking out here trying to clean up the weeds and get them knocked down so we can actually see what's here. And I pulled out a big root because right here used to be very tall spruce trees. But we have all those cleared out, and I'd like to put another hedge up here, but we have to do a lot of rearranging with everything out here first. But right here in the center we have a black lace elderberry, and it's coming into bloom. Hey, pretty flower. Look at that. Just a cluster. That's a pretty bloom. This thing should get bigger. I might have to prune it into a better shape. Another volunteer Rosa Sharon trying to infiltrate. And since we put a bunch of wood chip mulch out here really thick and the neighbor has an oak tree, the chipmunks keep bringing the oaks over here and planting them for me. And we already pulled 3 out in the spring, but I have a bunch more we need to get transplanted around the property. I think the only one I'm gonna keep here is the one beside the farm stand. That one's in the clear. It doesn't have any wires above it. But I'd like to get an evergreen hedge here blocking the front yard. And this was a volunteer as well. I think it's a Tartinian, and it's starting to put berries on for the birds. I don't think those are people berries, but the birds will enjoy. So I'm just trying to keep everything growing out here, keep it relatively decent looking until I can come out and do a full renovation. Hump up. Looks like most of the peonies are finishing up after that rain we got last night. But we do have some pink ones out front here. We have pink and white, and some are still looking good. But right here we have this dead lilac tree, and I think it's been dead for probably 15 years. I actually grew gourds up it one year to try and put leaves back on the branches and make it kind of look like a tree, and that worked out pretty well. But whenever I did that, I actually pruned it back pretty good, and surprisingly enough, it sprouted a new tree. Right beside it is the lilac tree coming off the root base, sprouting up a new top. So I think I can cut this old one out now and just let that new one grow. Oh, and the squirrels also brought me a walnut tree over here. They're so kind. We have the crepe myrtle, dynamite red crepe myrtle down here, which I pruned a little bit too harshly, but I think it was going to come back from the ground anyway because our winter this year was really cold. So we're just going to let this grow kind of like a short bush. It is a medium-sized tree, but I wanted multiple branches, so multiple trunks. So we're just going to let this grow, see what happens. Need to get in here and prune this dead out though. I actually wanted it to grow just above the farm stand so you could see the red blooms coming in the road, but it seems like our winters keep killing it back to the ground each year. Now the mailbox trellis is looking pretty good with the clematis on it. We're just waiting for its first bloom to start. And the cleavers is taking over this yucca. Doesn't look like we're getting blooms on this one, so this one actually probably bloomed last year, but the cleavers is taking over it. Sticky weed. Should dry some of this and make a tea. I don't know if I want the old stuff though. It's probably better to get the young shoots. I have a bunch of it though. It's a medicinal weed though. We can keep some of it. This sedum ball is looking really good. And then we also have a gladiola popping up in here. I like to have some variety. This guy's actually a little bit too big. Probably gonna donut in the middle this year. Like my ornamental grass here, getting real big, starting to donut in the middle. That's usually telling you it's time to move a perennial and split it up. And I did try that. I tried digging out this ornamental grass, but it was rooted in way too well. So that might need to be plucked out with a backhoe, but I don't think we can reach it. So I kind of just left it there for now. Huh, pup, you staying in the shade? Is it nice and cool over here? Yeah, good boy. You silly pup. You had to get a bump on your eye, just like Wrinkles. The same day too. The morning I saw the bump on Wrinkles, he got this the same afternoon. Chasing those chipmunks, and look, the birds have already started to eat berries. Hopefully someone moved into the house. I'm sure they did. Now over here in the front garden we have the Hosta bed. And we also have some volunteer sunflowers popping up here. We should have an allium in the middle, but you can see all the volunteer Rosa Sharon taking over everything. Gonna have to get in there and pull some of that out. Oh, here's a little baby allium. Nice, I can transplant that or try and get this bed filled up with them. The one here in the middle is having babies. We have the solar lights out front here and they look good walking in, but we also have a lot of volunteer sunflowers in this bed. I'm leaving these ones go, of course. On the corner we have the Shasta daisy, and I think this is a weed. Is this a weed or is this part of the daisy? A little bit taller. That's probably a weed. The daisies are starting to put on its blooms though, getting enough sun. And this is the culprit right here. This is the one dropping all the Rosa Sharon babies. I got it pruned back to a manageable size, but that thing is prolifically seeding. And the Hosta bed is filled up this year. I wanted to get in there and split these up. I actually want to get these moved around the property because these ones, look how beautiful these ones are. Look at these pretty ones just getting taken over under there. I want to get those ones moved over by the pond bank, but this Empress Woo Hosta is just taking things over here, and you can see it coming into bloom first. A very nice light purple to this bloom. Gorgeous. Now the Empress Woo Hosta is actually the largest hosta in the world, getting about 4 feet tall and 4 feet wide, and I think we're on year 4, so it is pretty much full size now. And taking things over. It's a big leaf too. My hands are 10-inch spread, so we're looking at 12, 13 inches. Oh, and I think this one's even bigger. Look at that. Huge. And these brighter lime hostas are getting a little bit too much sun. These leaves are looking a little stressed. It's a little hard to tell because they are supposed to be a bright lime green, almost yellow. But you can kind of just see the dryness. Not a lot of vibrancy to these. They're getting too much morning sun on this corner. I need to get a nice rhododendron here. Unfortunately, this one died almost all the way back. It did start putting up some sprouts, but I lost most of my bush. Huh, pup. Come on, pup. Now, coming back into the backyard here, we have the dogwood tree that I just pruned up into a shape. Had to let some light down below because we have the hostas back there trying to get some, and we also have another Shasta daisy right here. The white dogwood already finished up its bloom, but we also have the purple hostas in here and the white Shasta daisy. That's something. What's that? Is that a privet? Looks like a privet. We get a lot of volunteers around here. And I have been hearing that thunder this whole time, but it looks like it's going right around me. It's going south. So it looks like we might have some more time. We'll come down to the vegetable garden, so show your So it looks like we have a little bit more time. So we'll come down to the vegetable garden here and show you what's going on. I had to prune back the butterfly bush. It was completely taken over the pollinator ring here, and I wanted to show off all the gladiolas, the lilies, and even the bird bath here for the birds. But I've been trying to clean up the pathways. I've been using that vinegar, Epsom salt, and Dawn soap spray. I actually need to get more of the vinegar. And I just got some more weed whacker string from you guys sending into the P.O. box. So thanks so much, and I can get some more cleanup done here in the pathways. But now that the weather's starting to warm up, the peppers have really greened up, and we're actually starting to get some growth here. The tomatoes too. And if you remember, whenever we planted all these peppers, I did go and pinch the tops off of them all. So they had to regenerate and start branching out a stronger structure. And that way, whenever they start putting on the weight of the peppers, they're gonna be a stockier plant and be able to actually hold them up without the branches breaking. And it should help keep them a little bit stronger from even blowing over in the wind. So as you can see on this jalapeno pepper plant, it no longer has one top. It actually has 4 leaders sprouting out now. You cut the head off and multiple grow back. So that way we're gonna have stockier plants and actually more producing heads. So hopefully we get some more peppers. And as I said, it's been cold. So we've actually been getting a proper spring. And what is that? That's a cabbage moth. Get out of here. Get out of here. Quit laying eggs. Get out of here. You bug. Oh, we got a few. I'm gonna have to get the BT spray out. Get out of here, you bugs. My cabbage has been looking amazing since we've been getting this proper spring. I've never actually had cabbage look this good. I probably need to come in here and prune some of these back so these giant leaves aren't covering up another one. But I think we're just starting to go into heading mode here, so I don't want those cabbage moths to get in here and mess things up. So I've been spraying my cabbage with BT, Bacillus thuringiensis, and that kills anything that eats the leaves. But they still have to eat the leaf to get the poison, so we have some holes. And the rain also washes it off, so I have to keep reapplying it every time we get a shower. What, Pop? What are you doing in there? I see a tongue. That's all I see, bud. What are you doing on the wrong side of the fence? You want to come around? You hunting. All right, you do you. Right here we have some peas coming in, and these are definitely ready to pick. I should pick these. My dad would enjoy those for dinner this weekend. I'll eat some of them, but I really don't care for peas. Now we did get some more work done in the pumpkin patch here. I rototilled the whole thing twice the other day so I could get all the weeds chopped up and get a nice fluffy base here before the pumpkin starts really reaching down into the patch. And then I recovered it up with a tarp so we don't get any more weeds to start growing in there. However, we started getting some rain, so I wanted to pull the tarp back a little bit so all that rain could soak into the soil that the pumpkin's about to reach down onto. And then I also got a few zucchinis planted in here. But I see something over here and I don't like it. What's going on with my leaves? Is that something burning my leaves, or is that something eating my leaves? There's something going on. Are these cucumber beetles eating my leaves? I have 7 on this, so they shouldn't be. All the beetles are dead. Something's going on with these leaves. These ones are getting big. Things are looking a little bit stressed here on the corners. Maybe she needs water. Look at all these dead cucumber beetles. This is why you gotta keep it covered. It is just full of dead bugs. I think I'm gonna have to get her watered here. She's showing some signs of stress. We're getting rain though. Let me check the water meter. Oh, she looks wet all the way through. Looking moist. What are you doing, Pop? Why'd I just hear a beeping? What are you doing? Something living in that pallet. All right, make a mess. Yeah, I don't know why I'm showing so much stress on these leaves. I don't think I hit it too hard with the fertilizer, but she hasn't been getting a lot of sun, and then we just got a lot of heat and sun these last few days. I gotta get these vines straightened out. My secondaries are starting to get too close to each other. But I am not liking the look of these leaves. What happened? It's like I have a mite or something. The tip's still looking at, oh, we have a squash bug right there, you prick. I'm gonna need to get this covered. I see bugs crawling everywhere. With all this heat and the rain, they're gonna start emerging from the soil, so I need to get some spray on this. The asparagus is all ferned out here, looking real full. We have the buds going into bloom here soon. Look at them. They're gonna berry out here, looking nice and red and colorful. Sadly, my onions look like this. I do need to harvest a few of these. They're not gonna be growing anymore with broken necks, so I need to get them out of the soil before this rain starts rotting them, like this one. Not a good year for the onions. I need to pop some of these flower stalks off. They're not going to grow if they're trying to produce a flower and a seed. Take these off. I'm hoping I still get a couple of full-sized onions from those ones on that side. They look like they're still growing, except for that one going to flower. But I got different starts this year, not the typical starts I usually use. So I don't think I'll be getting those anymore. I'll either be starting my own onions from seed again like I've done before, or getting the right set starts from the right place. The ones I got this year were bulb sets, and I really want to get the ones that are onion starts. But the peas are looking good, filling out the trellis here. The cabbage is gorgeous, and the peppers are starting to grow. The potato beds down here are nice and full, up over knee high. I guess they're in a raised bed though, but still, if I put my leg up on the bed, it's still knee high. I'll get in there after it rains and hills so all this water can wash down into the roots. But hopefully we have some hopefully we have some potatoes growing in there with the bed looking this nice. I don't see any flowers starting on these either. We want to wait until they start blooming and maybe a couple weeks after before we start reaching in for any baby potatoes. Now we also got the backup pumpkins planted on the squash mound over here, and they're looking a little stressed, which is expected. I have them covered with 7, so hopefully these bugs are not doing anything. Oh, look at that bug. Big old squash bug right there. You get out of here. I got to keep the 7 on these to even give them a chance out here, but they have been in the greenhouse, so they haven't been getting a lot of direct sunlight, so that's why the leaves are completely cupped. The leaves will actually cup like that to try and reduce the surface area getting direct sunlight so it doesn't dry out as quickly. So I want to make sure to get some water on these after we're done with the tour, because the one over here is looking about the same, cupping its leaves, hopefully killing all the bugs. I got some stakes on it to try and hold it in place, because you can see these roots trying to grow. So anywhere they actually hit the soil, they're going to drop right down into the soil and help keep the vine in place. Oh, I got some burns on this leaf too. Looks the same as my giant. Wonder what's doing that. Is that nutrients or is that bugs? It ain't easy growing giant pumpkins. Huh, Pop? And some more peony blooming down here. These ones actually look pretty good. A little pink center surrounded by white. Perfect. And oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. Well, the vegetable garden is coming along right now. It looks like we have some things we need to work on with the pumpkins and make sure the bugs don't destroy my cabbage. Just waiting on the peppers to grow. And I can't complain about the potatoes right now. Oh, Pop. None living in there, are there? Make sure it's safe. We don't need any moles or voles in those beds, which is likely. Oh, my grandpa's peony is blooming too. It's a pink one. Gorgeous. We're getting some grass to grow out there on the island bank. And I was able to get things mowed before the garden tour, but not really weed whacked. Echo Pup cooling off. Good boy. Relaxing on the beach. Alright, before we finish up here, we'll take a walk through the pergola. There's a few things going on over here at the pergola garden. We actually have the clematis almost reaching to the top. The sweet autumn clematis is actually pretty fragrant, but it won't be blooming here till the fall. And behind the zebra grass here, we actually have another peony blooming. I think this one got clipped by the frost early on. It didn't have as many blooms as it did last year. But the stargazer pink lily is coming in as the blue star amsonia is going out. There's still a few in there. But now it's just a big fluffy ball here, and I love rubbing up against it. It's so soft. We have some weeds here. Get this pokeweed out of here so the gladiolas can get some more sun. We have some of those popping up right here by the rock. And then where the gladiolas stop, we actually have all the calla lilies begin. A nice little row of them here too. And some weeds. My Thuja green giants are doing pretty good back here. This one is tall and straight. I think we're probably about 10, 11, maybe 11 feet this year. And the lilac by the door is looking pretty good. I'm hoping to get some blooms on that next year. I'm not sure how old that has to be, maybe 7 before it starts blooming. But the Hosta rose looking really good here, and I think I saw some bloom stalks actually starting. Yeah, down at the end. We have Hosta bloom stalks, we have yellow flag iris blooming, and then we have some yucca stalks getting started as well. Gorgeous. That's gonna look nice with a purple line. And this should be purple too whenever it does its bloom. Hump pup, but I am feeling really late because I don't have my gourds started and I really need to get them climbing up the pergola as quick as I can. They're a hot climate plant and I got a short season. But the silver lace vine is looking beautiful on the green wall and going across the arch. It's actually starting to bloom up there where it gets some more sun. Gorgeous. And the silver lace vine does have some fragrance to it too. It's not particularly for everybody's taste, but I think it has a nice natural fragrance. And I really enjoy walking underneath it. We have some more blooms on this side, and actually the flies love it, so having it out here by the pergola keeps the flies away from the patio. Good job, Rufio. And I think it fits perfectly on the archway I gave it. Oh, the geyser. Gorgeous. But we also have the honeysuckle blooming right now, which is just beautiful with the yellow and the white blooms side by side. Look at them. And this actually puts off a very pleasant fragrance, and you really get it wafting in the wind as you walk by. So I am happy to see it in full bloom, reaching all the way to the top of the pergola. I'm actually thinking about expanding the pergola a little bit more, putting a post in here so I can bring the honeysuckle over more and kind of block this whole entrance off, just leaving a little opening to see in. But I want to kind of make more of a wall here and a wall on the other side where I have the zebra grass, so it's actually more of a walk in the center. I eventually want to kind of make it feel like a private room in there with some seating. Good job, Rufio. I see you, bud. I don't think we're warm enough for any red trumpet vine to bloom, but that's definitely going to be looking good this year. Oh, and the firelight hydrangea's covered in buds too. We should get a nice show off of this one. It's a beautiful landscape shrub. Oh, I might need to prune back some hemlock branch here. Look at you reaching in, getting on top of my bush. And some more Shasta daisies putting on their buds. We have a lot of blooms coming. Oh, it feels good in the shade here, buddy. I know why you're laying down here. You got the shade and the breeze on you. You're just living the life, bud. Alright guys, that's going to be all for this one. We have a lot of growth happening here in the gardens and a lot of blooms coming up. If you want to keep following along with everything here at Whitt Acres, make sure to subscribe down below. Hit that like button before you leave and you can see me and Echo on the next one. Thanks for watching.